What's going on, y'all? This is Big Ron DeVoe, and you are.
What's going on, y'all? This is Big Ron DeVoe, and you are
Kelcey
hanging
West,
out with me
right here,
and the pastor,
spreading that
Dr.
love.
Kelcey West, right here, spreading that love.
Mic check, 1, 2, 3. Mic check, 1, 2, 3. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Takeoff Show. I am your motivational pilot. Go by the name of Reverend Dr. Kelcey A. West. And guess what? This is an amazing Thursday, coming off an amazing Wednesday. I'm ready to take off. Amen. I pray that you are ready to take off. So you know what that means. That means that you need to get your behind in the seat that you're supposed to be sitting in. Check your ticket. Check your ticket. If you are in the wrong seat, please, sir, please, ma'am, move. Move, because you are stopping somebody's progress. You are in the way, and somebody is about to really move you. Amen. Because this is that type of day. We are aggressive. We are about our Father's business. So but don't fight. That's from one of my favorite Martin episodes. Don't fight. But move expeditiously to the seat that you're supposed to be in, the seat that has your oil on it, the seat, amen, that the Lord has graced you to sit in, the seat, amen, that comes with space where your cross, you hear what I said? It has space for your cross to fit. So, ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you have your journal, preferably a pencil, preferably a pen. Then make sure as you sit down, make sure you fasten your seatbelt, lower that tray table. Then, sir, ma'am, make sure you have something comfortable to drink, sip on, amen. Whether it be a Thursday mimosa, amen. You don't have to wait till the weekend to have a mimosa now, but you can have a cup of coffee, tea, water, amen. Whatever you have, just make sure you're cutting back on sugar, amen. We are cutting back on sugar. We have been. Not that we are, but we have been, amen, because we want to make sure we're taking better care of our temple. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm ready to take off. I pray that you are ready to take off on today. And I hope that you are ready to fly with me. I'm looking for something, amen. I'm not sure why, amen, I cannot find my show, if you will, on my Facebook page, amen. I'm not sure what's going on, but it is okay. I was scrolling, amen. It shows I'm live, but I was looking for something else, amen. I wanted to do something, and it is not there, but it is okay, amen. So I'm going to just check one more thing before I get off and take off into this show. Amen. Here we go. So I'm here. I found it. Okay, there's always a new bell, always a new whistle, always something you have to learn, amen. So let me just do this real quick. So, ladies and gentlemen, this morning, amen, I was minding my business, and like many of you, I have just been in awe of what's taking place with these proms. I have just been in awe of the amount of money that is being spent on proms. And so, ladies and gentlemen, this morning, I need to ask the question, amen. Watch where I'm going this morning. Don't go up the road. Don't think I'm hating, because if I was graduating this year, amen, I may have done some of the same things that you've seen. I may have really asked my mom, can you do this or can you do that? Because I'm just as much a part of the culture today as I was yesterday. So I'm not hating on this generation. I'm not hating on the new school. I just want them to know that they motivated me for today's show, because here is the question that I need to ask on today. I need to ask this particular question: are you enough? And the reason why I need to ask that question is because I need grown people of all ages to understand the accessories are sold separately. Many of you, amen, who fly with me, we're around the same age. So we grew up in the 70s, man. We grew up with toys. We grew up with the JCPenney catalog, the Sears catalog, Montgomery Ward's. We grew up with the real Toys R Us when they had the toys stacked to the ceiling. We grew up, amen, when going to the mall really meant something. We grew up during the time, amen, don't fake the funk. We grew up at a time where going to Kmart, you not only wanted them sub sandwiches and slushies, but you were hoping, amen, that you could get a toy. You grew up like me during a time when going to the grocery store meant the toy section at the grocery store was off the hook, because we were just kids that loved to play. And most of our commercials for our favorite toys, we were not blind. I mean, we were not ignorant to the fact, watch this, accessories were sold separately. We knew that, we understood it, that when we received a toy, amen, there was a good to great chance, amen, that we were going to have to go back and ask for something else. Why? Because we didn't get the accessories. We got the action figure, but we don't have the cave, the car, amen. Don't even mention the batteries. But we had, amen, we had to make do with whatever we received at that time. And so we had to improvise, amen. Some of us had to build, amen, our own accessories. We had to pull from other toys. And so a lot of times our accessories didn't match, because we were going to let nothing stop us from having fun. Amen. I do not want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. Talk back to me, somebody, on today. But nevertheless, as I was in my meditation this morning, it hit me. The question really hit me. Are you enough? And I say that because as I was watching, amen, I have watched so many clips on primes. I'm just in awe, amen, again, of the amount of money that's being spent. Hopefully, amen, people are doing it on one hand for the prime. Hopefully those who are doing it to go viral, hopefully your viral checks are coming in and it's going to help pay off, amen. If it was a deficit, if you have it like that, wonderful. If you don't have it like that, I need you to really pump your brakes and ask your child the question, are you enough? Because I've seen so many pictures, man. Most of the pictures are people in front of their home. I rarely see people at the actual prom. I have yet to see some pictures, amen, of people actually dancing in the prom. Is there still a last dance? Is there a slow dance? Is there a fast dance? I have yet to see. I don't know who DJ the prom. Do they eat at proms? Do they still take pictures at proms? Is there still a souvenir ticket? Amen. I have seen none of that. Amen. Are there chaperones at the prom? Amen. Do principals get dressed up? I've seen none of those pictures, because most of the pictures that I have seen have just been of the preview party, the pre-party, not the post, not the actual party, but the pre, amen, the red carpets. Let me say that most of the pictures that I've seen have just been the red carpet. And because many of us, amen, we're trying to stage red carpets, amen. We're trying to stage moments, amen. And this ain't for everybody, so please don't jump on this flight thinking I'm painting with a broad stroke. That's not what I'm doing. I'm asking people a question today. Are you enough? Amen. Are you okay with you, or do you need the accessories? I'm talking to somebody today. If you do not have the accessories, are you okay? And so that's the premise of today's flight. Amen. I love hats. I need y'all to know that I love hats, but this is my favorite. So I'm going someplace today. The first question that I need to ask, because again, I'm in awe. I have seen people, amen, with goats and horses. I've seen kids with stacks of money, amen, as if somebody can rob you. Amen. I've seen people with not prom attire. I have seen young girls with wedding attire. I mean, full-fledged wedding attire, not bridesmaid. I'm talking bridal gowns. Amen. I've seen more jewelry on prom dresses than I have on, man, I don't even know if I've seen some wedding dresses that can rival some of these prom dresses that I've seen. I've seen young men, and I promise you, I'm not hating, but I've seen some young men in some designer suits and sneakers, amen. We're talking major money. We have gone way past, I'm just going to put some sneakers. We are way past Jordans. We are past Gucci and Louis Vuitton. I've seen some young men tap into some sneakers, amen, and I had to Google it to find out who is that brand. And so again, man, when you start having real goats, amen, I never thought the day would come where I would see a real goat eating grass in the projects. I'm going to say it again, man. The game has changed. We got real goats, amen, eating grass in the projects. We got goats, amen, sharing grass with German Shepherds. Lord have mercy. We got real goats, amen, sharing grass with pit bulls. I never thought I would see the day, but that day is here. We got goats, man. We got horses, and it's been blowing my mind because I've seen guys on horses and the girls standing. I've seen horses, amen, looking at the camera going, can you believe this? I'm just as shocked as you are, amen. I've seen horses, amen, trying to figure this thing out. What happened to my life? How did I end up here, amen, in this situation? Again, the stacks of money, man. I've seen cats, moms just giving children book bags, and in the book bag there are stacks of money. I'm believing is real. Again, I didn't check serial numbers. It looks real. If it's not real, it is what it is. But the question that I first need to ask you as an individual, as a person, how much are you willing to spend to look like what you are not? I need to ask that question today. How much? For real, because some people, amen, you want it so bad. You want to fit in so bad. You want to hear the oohs and ahs so bad. You want to be popular. You want to go viral so bad. Or maybe you just want it for yourself. Watch this. Whatever it is, I'm just curious, how much are you willing to spend? Amen. It may make you feel better about yourself. So again, don't think I'm hating. I'm just asking a question for today's flight. How much are you willing to spend? That's a serious question that I want you to ask. Amen. I remember when it was time for me to go to the prom, 1989, the question was asked. My mom asked me a very simple question. Amen. What's the budget? I was working. She was going to put in some money, but the question was asked, how much, amen, are you willing to spend? What's the budget? Amen. Because originally, even though my prom look still had, amen, some looks of some New Edition in it, it was really influenced heavily by the New Edition video, You're Not My Kind of Girl, because they had that military look. And so I wanted to rock that for prom. Initially, I wanted a full sequin outfit like New Edition, but I didn't know how much fabric cost. And my mom said, Kelcey, that particular suit is going to be too much. And so we started compromising. So I ended up with some sequin on the shoulders. I ended up with a sequin vest, amen. I remember we went to Northland in Detroit and found me a pair of black and white snakeskin shoes. I had the snakeskin belt to match. I'm black and white down, y'all. And then my mom, she put some touches on my outfit. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I knew what I was willing to spend. How much are you willing to spend? And I want you to be honest with yourself. And guess what? You don't owe anybody an explanation. I just want you to be honest with yourself. How much are you willing to spend to look like what you are not? And I say that because sometimes, amen, we're driving cars that don't match our actual life, our lifestyle. Some of us are wearing designers, amen, that don't match our lifestyle. Something is wrong if you are wearing, hear me when I say this, you wearing Gucci and Louis Vuitton, but you eating top ramen. Something is wrong, amen. You are carrying, amen, $5,000 and $10,000 purses, amen. But inside the purse is an EBT card. Something is wrong, man. Talk back to me, somebody. And so you have to ask the question, how much are you willing to spend to look like what you're not? I am so grateful, amen. I was reared in reality. I was so grateful, amen, because watch this. I'm comfortable with me. I was reared, amen. My mama said, Kelcey, if you want those shoes, you got to work work for them. So I'm okay with understanding every 2 weeks I'm gonna have me a layaway. I'm gonna put a little something on my layaway because I understood my last name was not Huxtable. I understood, amen, I was not that type of a hustler as a kid growing up. I had an actual after school job. That was my truth. So when I dressed, I understood I couldn't dress like those guys because I'm not those guys. I understood, amen, yeah, I could get $100 bill. I always had money in my pocket because I worked. That's my truth. I have always, since I was 13, 14, I've always had some money in my pocket. I didn't have knots. I didn't have bank rolls, but I had enough money to get me a bag of Better Made hot chips when I wanted them. I had enough money to get me a Faygo soda when I wanted it. I had enough money if I wanted to go to White Castle, I could when I wanted it. But I had enough money to always maintain a layaway. And so I knew my limits, amen. When I would go in Wilson's, I wanted me some leather pants. And so I got me some leather pants, amen. That's what I wanted, amen. But I worked for them. But I understood who I was, my limitations, amen. I look at my shoe game now and I go, wow, it's amazing. I remember a time, amen, when I was balling, when I had 3 pair of sneakers. I'm going to say it again. I remember I got up to 3 pair of sneakers. You couldn't tell me nothing because for a long time I had 1 pair of sneakers. I would get a pair of shoes when school started. Maybe for Christmas I would get another pair, but around my birthday I would get a second pair. And sometimes that first pair would still be good, but I played sports. So after football and basketball, it would most likely be time to get rid of that pair of shoes. My foot has literally been the same size forever. And so I thank God, amen, for that because it allowed me to be able to maintain my shoe game. But now I look at my shoes. I'm not going to tell y'all how many pairs of kicks I have now. Just understand, amen, I love kicks. I love shoes. I really do. That's my fetish. I love brand new shoes and socks. Don't hate, appreciate. And so I really want you, amen, on today, as you are looking at this world we living in, as you're looking at whatever table you're trying to sit at, when you look at whatever party you're trying to attend, how much are you willing to spend to look like what you're not? And I'm asking this question to you. If my first question, if you answered this question and you said, I'm not enough. If you don't feel that you are not enough with or without the accessory, how much are you willing to spend to look like what you're not? Watch where I'm going. Let's go back to the first question. Are you enough? You give somebody a Barbie doll. Barbie is Barbie with or without the accessories. I'm going to say it again. Barbie is Barbie with or without the accessories. And so you have to ask yourself this question, am I enough? And I want you, especially if you are a parent, especially if you are raising up a child or a grandchild, I want you to speak confidence into them. And I want you to start telling them not only they're beautiful, but I want you to start telling them as you tell yourself, you are enough. I want you to tell a child, amen, you don't have to, and watch this, please don't think, listen, I understand peer pressure. I understand culture. So I'm not saying that you're not going to take a child school shopping. I'm not going to say that you're not going to give a child some things. Man, listen, I was a child once, but what I do want you to tell your child is you are making those shoes look good. You are making that outfit look good. Talk back to me, somebody. Those shoes don't make you. That outfit don't make you. I'm going to say it again. You are beautiful with or without that stuff. That's the message that I want you to share, because sometimes people have the mindset, I'm less than without. I'm going to say it again. I got it. There's nothing wrong with me having this, but guess what? I'm super cool with or without the Gordon Gartrell shirt. I got some Cosby Show people on this flight today, and you understand what I just said. With or without the Gordon Gartrell shirt, I am good. So I want parents, man, hear me now. Listen, I ain't in your pockets. Don't think I'm hating. Don't think I'm telling you what to do. I'm just talking psychology. I'm talking, amen, our mental health, amen. And I am so grateful that I had people around me who would tell me, Kelcey, you are fine. Kelcey, you are okay. Amen. No, you can't have this. I remember There was an accessory I wanted, and my mom, we had to have a real talk on the porch one summer. Amen. This is when I learned our economics were changing. One of my friends, Cedric Randolph, his nickname was Billy Crip in our hood because he twisted his knee real bad. But Cedric Randolph, amen, he was like a Theo Huxtable in our neighborhood. He was one of the first cats to have a moped. He had one, and my man Chris Davis had one. Chris Davis was another one of my Theo Huxtable like friends, lived in the big house. Chris had the third floor to himself. He had a moped. Cedric Randolph had a moped. Then we blinked, and my boy Quincy and Steve Phelps had those red sprees. And so my mama knew I wanted a moped. And my mama told me one day on the porch, she just read my mind. She said, Kelcey, I want you to know we did not get income tax this year we had to pay. Had I received income tax, I would have bought you a moped. But because we didn't get the income tax, you're gonna have to make that bike do what it do. Man, listen, that was such a, man, just a profound moment in my life because I didn't get the accessory I wanted, so I had to make do with what I had. My mama was speaking life to me. Kelcey, you gonna be cool with or without the moped. Kelcey, hey man, the girl's gonna like you with or without the moped. But she was speaking to my self-esteem. That's the word I've been trying to pull this morning. Self-esteem. We have to speak to the self-esteem of our children, grandchildren. But first and foremost, you got to speak to your self-esteem. Because I'm talking to somebody today. You are fine, amen, with or without the accessory you think you need. I'm going to say it again. You make that accessory look good. I'm going to say it again. That some of y'all, you should be receiving thank you notes from Louis Vuitton. I'm going to share this with you. I'm not hating. One of the worst purchases I've made. I own a Gucci loafer that I can't stand. I couldn't wait to get the Gucci loafer, but after I bought the loafer, I realized I have some shoes that fit my feet better. I have some shoes that are way more comfortable. When I wear the shoe, I do receive a compliment or two, but the shoe hurts my feet. I'm going to say it again. I wear the shoe because I spent so much money for the shoe, or I'm going to get my money's worth out of this shoe, amen. But if the truth be told, it is one of the worst shoe purchases I've ever made. I'm not hating on Gucci, amen. There's another shoe that I should have bought, and I may buy that shoe. I may buy the shoe. That's my truth, amen. I work hard to play hard. Nevertheless, I'm just being honest, amen. Some of you should be receiving some thank you notes from some of the brands you wear because you make the brand look better than the brand really is. There are some brands out there and you go, man, it's okay. The brand is okay. I'm not going to name brands because I don't want brands suing me, but I will say this. Some of you make the brand look better. I wish somebody would type in the comments, that's me, because you know that I know that you know you make those clothes pop. You make that bag pop. Talk back to me, somebody. You got the bag, but it's you. It's you. It's your walk, amen. It's your flair, amen. It's your style. Come on, talk back to me, somebody. It's the light, amen, that you've received from the Lord. That's what makes, amen, that brand pop, amen. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just asking a question on this flight. How much are you willing to spend, hear me now, to look like what you're not? I wish somebody on today, this is where I'm going. I'm speaking to your mental health. They said June is Men's Mental Health Month. Somebody type this for me. I'm cool being me. I'm going to tell y'all this right now. I'm a sneaker guy. I got, man, listen. My sneaker collection upstairs lets you know, amen, I'm cool in whatever sneaker I'm wearing. I got Adidas top 10s up there. I got the shell toes. I got Fila's, the original low tops. I got some high tops. I got them Grand Hill joints, man. I got a pair of ponies upstairs, man. I rock a lot of Pumas. I love Pumas. They're comfortable, man. I got some Jordans up there, man. Some hurt my feet. My favorite Jordan, man, really hurts my feet. I want to wear the threes, but them threes sometimes hurt my feet, especially when I'm walking, man. I got some shoes upstairs, man. I love sneakers, amen. I got a pair of Kanye's. My son bought me those. I got some Kanye's up there, man. What else I got up there? I think I got a pair of It may be some British Knights still in the equation, amen. I'm a sneaker guy. I know I got a pair of Troops, amen, like Lecoq Sportif. Y'all don't know nothing about that, man. And so I love sneakers, man. My Adidas, I say my Adidas top tens, my Adidas Forums, amen. These are shoes. I just got a pair of Barclays. I ain't broke those out yet, but I picked up me a old school pair of Barclays. But I'm looking for the right outfit to rock with that, and I may rock them on Father's Day. Nevertheless, I'm saying this to say, amen. I make the shoe. That's what I'm trying to share with y'all. I just don't have one particular shoe. I make the shoe. And so if I'm talking to you this morning, I need somebody to share on this flight. Amen. I'm good with being me. And so I'm not trying to be like nobody else. I'm past my Gordon Gartrell years. I had them now. I had some moments where, and again, me and my mom, I'm going, I want this. And my mama was notorious for asking me why. Why do you want that leather jacket, or why do you want that coat with the fur on the hood? Why? You got to tell me this, Kelcey. Why, amen, do you want this Adidas jogging suit? Why, Kelcey, do you want a big rope chain? You got to explain this to me, Kelcey. Why do you want the things that you want? And sometimes it would be because the cat in the Right On magazine got them, and the girls like that, so I want that. And so I'm asking you this question: how much are you willing to spend? Because my mom would tell me, but that's not you. That's not you. You're not a rapper. Why do you want to look like a rapper? You're not a rapper. Why do you want to look like, amen, a street hustler? You're not a street hustler. You're a busboy at Denny's, amen. That's not who you are, amen. So why are you trying to look like that? You know you like to get dressed up like those boys from Boston. You know you like the group New Edition. So why are you trying to be what you're not? You know you like bow ties and cummerbunds. So let me take you to jeans and things and get you all the bow ties and cummerbunds that you can have, so that you can afford, so that way you can be you. I need somebody to type just type BEU. That's it. BEU. Capital B, little e, capital U. Type that for me. Capital B, lower e, capital U. Somebody type that. Put a hashtag in front of it. Be you. This summer, if you don't do anything else for your child, teach your child to be you. Why are you wearing what you wear? If you wear what you wear because it makes you feel good, rock on with your bad self. But if you wearing what you wearing and it really does nothing for you, then man, take that off and be comfortable. Be you. I went to school dressed up every day. I went to school, man. I had Lagerfeld cologne in my briefcase. Be you. I went to school, man. I'm gonna say it again. My teachers would ask me all the time, where are you going today? Are you performing? You really have on a full outfit, amen. You got on a wingtip shirt. You have on baggies, amen. You got matching socks to match the bow tie and the cummerbund. Where are you going? And I would tell them, I'm just going to school. When I'm dressed like this, it makes me study better. When I'm dressed like this, it gives me confidence. So ladies and gentlemen, teach this next generation by starting with yourself to be comfortable in being you. Don't teach this generation, amen, to chase after stuff that's going to leave them empty. It's going to leave a void in their life. Don't teach them, amen. First, man, are y'all hearing what I'm saying? Man, listen, I understand the culture. I understand the influence that people have, amen. We were rocking Kangos because of LL. We were rocking Shell Toes because of Run DMC. Most of us, amen, we wanted this hat to be black leather like my man Ecstasy from Houdini. Man, I understand the culture. Man, talk back to me, somebody. Some of us, we wanted Bally shoes. There we go. Watch this, Donnell. So y'all didn't know I was coming like that. Jay Spate, what's happening? Watch this, man. I'm gonna have to break out my Bally's one day because it was my man Dougie Fresh and the Get Fresh crew. They had us rocking Bally's. Y'all don't know nothing about no Bally's, amen. And so, ladies and gentlemen, if you wear what you wear because it makes you feel good about you, rock on with your bad self. But if you are chasing stuff and you're wearing it, you're spending your money and it does nothing for you, I'm gonna ask the question one more time. How much are you willing to spend to look like what you're not? I'm going to say this again, man. I know who I am. I know who I am. I'm comfortable, man. I can preach, amen, in a full suit. I can preach in sneakers, man. Some days I just want to be comfortable. I do. I just want to be comfortable. I know some days I'm out in the community and people see me and they go, Pastor, you know you need to go back home and you need to change. You need to put on something pastoral. I know, and I apologize, man. But some days I just like being comfortable, amen. If I could just rock a pair of sneakers and sweats every day, if I could just rock a jersey. I don't like clothes that touch me. See, I'm a dancer, and some people really don't understand. I'm from, my best dancing years, man, 88 to 94. Those are my best dancing years. So, man, we talking hammer pants. We talking the long shirts, amen. We talking heavy D and the boys. I like clothes that don't touch me. Shouts out to Cross Colors. Shouts out, amen. Cross Colors didn't touch me. Carl Kanai, they had oversized. Man, shouts out to you cats, man, who still got 5X t-shirts in your drawer. Y'all know what I'm saying, we was rocking them oversized fits, amen. And so South Pole, amen. South Pole, amen. And so we was rocking that stuff, amen. And so, but it made me feel comfortable. And so when I'm out and about, man, I like to be comfortable. I don't want to look apart. I just want to be me. And so I'm just giving you warning. You may see me out and about and you may go, man, I wasn't expecting him to be dressed like that. Well, I got to be me. That was the greatest advice my pastor gave me, the late Reverend Nathaniel Whitney. He saw me early in ministry, amen, watching people, and he could tell I was about to start gleaning from this person and gleaning from that person. And one morning before service, he said, Kelcey, come here. And he said, be you. And then we went out. We left his office, went in the sanctuary. He said, be you. And that was the greatest thing he could have told me. Be you. And that's the message I'm sharing with somebody today. Be you. Amen. You don't have to buy anything, amen, to look like what you're not. I want you to, amen, to take today, start today, look in your closet and start pulling out stuff that you can't stand. Just start removing stuff, amen. You don't like it. You trying to figure out, why did I ever buy that? My man said Jabot jeans. I see you, Donnell. Them Jabot jeans was cool, man, because I had to flip between the Guess or the Jabots. I think I like Jabots better than Guess. Jabot had a little extra room for me. Again, I like baggy. That's my truth, man. When Morris Day and the Time came out, I was in the 6th grade, Donnell. You may have been 1st grade. But when they came out with the baggies, my cousin Cherry bought me 2 pair of baggies. I'm in the 6th grade with baggies. You couldn't tell me nothing. I had Morris Day baggies and I had real Stacey Adams shoes, 2-tone Stacey Adams shoes. I got them from my older cousins, Butch and Ronald. They were a size and a half too big, but you couldn't tell me nothing. I had real Stacey Adams. Amen. Nevertheless, I went to school dressed up. That was me. I'm comfortable in that space. And so, ladies and gentlemen, the purpose of today's flight, I want you to be you. Some of you, amen, watch this. Some of you, your sneaker collection, man, listen, it ain't because you've made an idol out of somebody. You just like that shoe. And I wish somebody would be honest. That's me. I'm comfortable. Let me do me. Somebody type that. Let me do me. J Space said extra socks. Lord have mercy. I remember that, man. Cats say, man, really wore a size 10, but their sneakers were a 12 because they were wearing 3 and 4 pair of socks. Yeah, socks. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to be you. That's where we're going on today's flight. Because, again, I'm watching some of these prime pictures and I'm going, man, who put this child in this outfit? This ain't even this child. You can tell, man, this prime is all her mama. This baby don't even know how to sit in this dress. Some of these pictures I've seen and I'm going, man, will somebody tell this young lady how to sit sideways and cross her ankles? Will somebody tell, man, this young man how to this ain't him. He don't even know how how to stand in this outfit. Amen. Talk back to me, somebody. And this is a whole nother show I got to do, but I don't know where this come from. You gonna stand on her dress? Her mama then paid to get this dress made, and you gonna stand on it? You gonna come off this dirty grass that the goat been eating with the German Shepherd? You gonna come off this grass that the goat been eating with the pit bull, and now you gonna stand on her dress? Man, the game has changed. The game has changed. And so I got another question. Let me drop this question. Watch where I'm going. Which accessory makes you feel complete or successful? I'm asking, I want you to be honest today, man. Type it in the comments. If you gonna spoil yourself, what are you buying today? Let's just be honest, man. We work hard to play hard. I have hats. I love hats. I've always loved hats. I'm gonna say it again. I've always loved hats. And so this one here is my favorite. I have hats. Shouts out to my hat sponsor, amen. What's happening? Shouts out, amen. But I love hats, amen. Sweet Lou is another one, amen, who rock a lot of hats, amen. It's my cigar players, amen. I got some cigar lovers who rock some hats in Las Vegas. But I love hats. This is my favorite. And so if I'm gonna spoil myself, if it's not a shoe, watch this. I'm giving it to you in this order. If I'm going to spoil myself from an accessory standpoint, it's most likely a shoe, a hat, or a watch. I love them in that order. Shoe, hat, watch. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have some dialogue, amen. What accessory makes you feel complete or successful? I'm not talking about your neighbor. I'm not talking about your kids right now. What accessory? If it's not an accessory, then guess what? Just get you a window seat and enjoy this flight. But if you know what I'm talking about, man, when I put this on, I feel better about myself. I feel good. I feel accomplished, amen. Listen, I love new socks. I should have put new socks. I should have, because I love new socks. It's just something about that feel. Listen, man, I've been working since I was 14. I love new sneakers. It is nothing like, man, listen, I have nothing against the shoes when they're on the clearance rack. I have nothing against those shoes. But for me in my house, I love when they bring that box of shoes out and I get to move the paper. Lord have mercy. I get to move the paper and lift from the box a brand new pair of shoes that have never been tried on. The paper is still in the box. Man, is that not heaven? And so I love, amen, a fresh pair of unused, never been tried on sneakers. I love it. I love it to the point where if they've never been laced up and the salesperson wants to lace my shoes, I would say, man, go help somebody else because I want to lace my shoes. I still love the feeling of matching up my laces, amen, and lacing my shoes, amen. And if I get to the end and I was off, man, I'll undo them and I'll do it all over again because I love the feeling of lacing up a new pair of sneakers. And so I'm sharing that with y'all, man. I love it. I love it. I love it. And so what accessory? Amen. Watch this, man. What accessory? I'm not hating. You work too hard. And some of you, you really do need to spoil yourself. Some of you, you really do need to take a moment and appreciate what you've done. Watch where I'm going. Amen. And I want you to be honest. What accessory makes you feel complete or successful? That's you. That's your mental. Amen. And some of us, we're off in our mental. Amen. Because we're doing so much for others. Amen. We don't have the accessories that we want. I'm talking, and I've done some weddings and I've been in the back, amen, with parents, and I'm going, what's wrong? And they going, man, I did all this, bought all these accessories, and my child ain't even happy. My child ain't even said thank you. I'm in the back and with dad, and dad going, man, I could have bought me something. Amen. I didn't spend all this money. People ain't even showed up. We got tables and people ain't at it. We got food. People ain't eating. Like, man, I could have bought me a Rolex. And so I have to sit in the back with Dad, and I go, Dad, I understand. He say, Reverend, I know you're a reverend, but I gotta have a drink. And I'll say, Dad, I understand. Have your drink. Amen. I understand. And so, ladies and gentlemen, which accessory makes you feel complete or successful? Please put that in the comments, because guess what? When your child sees you spoiling yourself, you have to then remind your child, I was able to spoil myself like this because I work. I was able to spoil myself like this because I work hard to play hard. And then you teach your child, amen, that this doesn't happen every day. That's a rap lyric. This type of boom doesn't happen every day. I don't spoil myself like this every day. I'm not bringing in new boxes every day. I'm not popping tags every day. But when I do pop a tag, it's going to be for this, because that makes me feel. It may not make nobody else feel. It makes me feel complete or successful. That's my truth. Now, let's get ready to land this plane. I got a third question. Somebody help me on this one. What is the Mount Rushmore of accessories? I've really been thinking about this today in preparation for this show this morning. What's the Mount Rushmore of accessories? I already told y'all, man, this is my favorite hat. I love sneakers. I love fresh socks. Amen. I love a watch. Amen. I'm not a big necklace person. I've been rocking the same necklace forever. Carmen got my Tupac herringbone necklace because back in the day, amen, before I met Carmen, the Tupac video I get around, that stayed in rotation. And so he had the herringbone on. So I couldn't wait to get me a herringbone. Amen, somebody. Biggie had me buying Coogee. I couldn't wait to get me a Coogee sweater. Pac had me also, him and Tyson. I couldn't wait to get me a Versace shirt. Couldn't wait, amen. But I'm not those things. I don't have to do it again. Been there, done that. And so what is the Mount Rushmore of accessories? Amen. I'm just gonna name some stuff, and if you can think of somebody else who had an accessory that should be on the Mount Rushmore, let me know. But I think the glove, Michael Jackson's glove, should be on the Mount Rushmore. It's that glove, amen. No matter, I don't care where you go all over the world. I think when you see a white sequin glove, somebody's gonna say Michael Jackson. That accessory has to be on the Mount Rushmore of accessories. I think it's only fair by now that we say the Jordan sneaker has to be on the Mount Rushmore of accessories. I think if I ever saw Michael Jordan walking around and he had on a pair of Shaqs, I think I would tell somebody, I think Jordan's smoking crack. If I ever saw Jordan out in public and he had on a pair of Starberries, I think I would tell somebody, please find Jordan's family. I think he has lost it. Jordan, amen. I don't care what the occasion is. He rocks his accessory. For real, Jordan is serious about that Jordan brand. When we went to his golf tournament, amen, on his golf cart, it was Carolina blue and white. He had the Jordan logo on it. He was Jordan from head to toe. Jordan hat, shirt, pants, shoes. Amen. He's switching shoes throughout the golf tournament. Golf bag had his logo. Man, the Jordan logo, brand, the shoe. Amen. That shoe. And let's just give credit where credit is due. That original red, black, and white shoe. That shoe has to be on the Mount Rushmore of accessories. Amen. The cape. I may be stretching with this one, but I believe the cape, either James Brown or Elvis, their cape has to be on the Mount Rushmore of accessories. I just saw DMC from Run DMC. I just met him recently at the West Las Vegas Library Theater. Shouts out to my sister China for making that happen. I'm sitting on the front row. I got there early so I could have a good view of DMC. I'm listening to his speech, which was wonderful, by the way. He had an amazing motivational speech for young people. But ladies and gentlemen, I got to admit, I was a teenager when I was sitting in the theater and I'm staring at his sneakers. I'm like Iverson looking at Michael Jordan. I'm in the theater. DMC I could reach out and touch him. But instead of touching him, shaking his hand, I'm staring staring at his feet, and on his feet was a pair of white and black shell toe Adidas sneakers. I'm going, man, I can't believe it. He's really wearing the shell toe Adidas. I gotta put the Adidas shell toe in the Mount Rushmore of accessories. If there's an accessory, amen, when you see that accessory, you think about somebody, please put that in the comments. When it comes to you, amen, what's your accessory? What is your go-to, amen? What is that accessory that makes you tear up your house when you can't find it? What is that accessory that'll make you drive all the way back home just to have it? What is that accessory that'll make you pay for an extra suitcase just so that accessory can travel with you? What is your accessory that's on your personal, private Mount Rushmore when it comes to accessory? What's that accessory that people have said over and over again? You need to get rid of it. You need to throw it away. And you said, no, leave that alone. It is nothing wrong with that. It is fine. What is your Mount Rushmore of accessories? So ladies and gentlemen, have some fun. Add to the comments today. But ladies and gentlemen, at the end of today, I really just wanted to have a flight. I was led to have a flight, hopefully to help you answer the question this summer favorably. Are you enough? I pray your answer is yes. I pray, amen, as you are looking at, amen, all of these amazing brands that are out there, all of these amazing brands that we make a gazillion dollars for, and some rarely do anything for our hood. Nevertheless, that's a whole nother conversation. I really want you to take a step back, and I want you to say, amen, it is nothing wrong with me wearing my own label. It is nothing wrong, amen, with me putting my name where it could say Jordan, where it could say Carl Kanai, where it could say Gucci, where it could say Sean John, where it could say, amen, what was JC? It could say Rockefeller. It could say, amen, it's been so many labels, amen. Did my man Nelly had a brand. I forget Nelly's brand, amen. Some of y'all, amen, you should have, you passed your apple bottom years, amen. But whatever brand, amen, you think you can't live without, the purpose of today's show, put your name there. You are a brand and you are enough. And so because you are enough, you don't have to rock everybody else's brand. That's the one thing we learned from the Cosby Show. Amen. Theo really thought it was all about the Gordon Gartrell shirt. It wasn't. It wasn't, man. He had to knock off. He still got the girl, despite the fact that shirt was tucked into his socks. My real Cosby Show people understand the love I just gave back. But ladies and gentlemen, remind yourself today, I'm enough. I'm enough, man. Serious, man. I'm enough. Stop killing yourself to look like what you're not. Stop killing yourself to have what everybody else say you need when God never told you you need that. I need you to flip through the pages of the Bible, and I need you to look at some of the original authentic cats that Jesus used. John the Baptist didn't dress like everybody else. David was short and ruddy. Amen. Moses had a speech impediment. I need you to really flip through the pages of the Bible. Amen. Jesus had sandals. Talk back to me, somebody. People didn't always have, everybody didn't go to Lydia and get the purple outfits, the royal look, amen. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I just want this to be the summer, amen, where when you pull up to the park, amen, when wherever we gonna meet up at, amen, Donnell put on here where we're meeting up at on Friday, wherever we meet up at, I want to meet you. Amen. I don't want to meet the brand. I don't want to meet somebody else. I want to meet you. Amen. So do me a favor. You ain't got to show off your belt. I see you, player. Amen. It's like my favorite scene, one of my favorite scenes in Paid in Full. And he say, man, I see you shimmering, man. You got your Rolex on. You got your jewels and all of that. Man, you ain't got to do that, man. Just be you. I love you. Whether you are rocking somebody else's name or you're rocking your name, guess what? I love you because you are enough for me. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I pray I've motivated somebody today. One more time, my name is Pastor West. Amen. I'm your motivational pilot. And guess what, man? It's a lot of people pushing me to be this, that, or the other. But from my heart from the bottom to the top, thank you for letting me be